dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MC James virtual classroom. Students, today we are going to start with the subject Standard 7th Civics, and in 7th Standard Civics we're talking about Indian Constitution, and today we'll be learning the topic Fundamental Rights Part 2. In the first part of this topic, we people discussed about the concept of fundamental rights, and in that, right to equality, right to liberty, right against exploitation. And now, in this chapter, we shall also learn about the right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights. We shall get acquainted with the judicial protection available for the fundamental rights. So in short, in today's topic we are going to talk about the right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, writs as constitutional remedies. So one by one now we'll discuss about the fundamental rights, and in this the first one, right to freedom of religion. This one is very important in our country where number of religions are there, number of religious people are there, and the religion is the thing which is at the center of the people. So it is very important to maintain peace and harmony in the society, and for that right to freedom of religion is very important. Now when we talk about India, we all know that India is an important secular country in the world. We people are known for our secularism in the world. इंडिया की पहचान जो है वो एक सेक्युलर कंट्री की पहचान है पूरी दुनिया में. नाउ द वर्ड सेक्युलर मीन्स not connected with religious or spiritual matter. Not connected with religious or spiritual matter. Government is not connected with any particular religion or any particular spiritual matter. There is no any official religion of our country. There is no any spiritual form of our country. That is what is secularism. We have studied in the previous classes about the concept of secularism, but you must be curious to know what the Indian Constitution says about it. It is included in our right of freedom, and according to it, each Indian citizen is free to practice any religion. Again I am repeating, this is the beauty of our constitution, this is the beauty of our country, this is the beauty of the people of our country, that we people are with different religions, we people are with different caste, but we are living together with peace, and it is because our religion or the freedom of religion is mentioned in our constitution, so that one can practice any religion and to establish institutions for religious reason. This is what is the central idea about the right to freedom of religion. कोई किसी पे ज़बरदस्ती नहीं कर सकता, कोई किसी पे प्रेशर नहीं डाल सकता किसी एक पर्टिकुलर रिलीजन के बारे में. आप अपने रिलीजन की तरह से बिहेव कर सकते हैं, जो भी आपकी चीज़ें हैं वो कर सकते हैं बिना किसी को तकलीफ दिए, और सामने वाले को भी ऐसा ही करना है इफ़ दोनों अलग अलग रिलीजन के हैं. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट इज़ फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन. In order to broaden the scope of the right to freedom of religion, two things which are not permitted state cannot impose religious taxes, cannot impose religious taxes that might be used to encourage a particular religion, that is, our constitution forbids religious taxes, not in the support of any particular religion or not in the oppose of any particular religion. किसी एक रिलीजन के सपोर्ट में नहीं है और किसी एक रिलीजन का अपोज भी नहीं करता है. That is what state cannot impose religious taxes that might be used to encourage a particular religion, and that is our constitution forbids religious taxes. Next thing, religious education cannot be made compulsory in educational institutions that receive aid from the state. If the school or the educational institution is getting aid from the state or from the government, we can say, then that education system or that particular institution cannot be made compulsory any religious education, because there is no any official religion of our country. So no religious education in the schools and colleges which are getting aid from the government or aid from the state. The next one, next to the right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights. Again the same thing. We Indians are living together, though we are having number of diversities like religious, language, food, clothing, number of things are there, but we can see that there is a great diversity of festivals, there is a great diversity in our food and ways of life in our country. Here you can see how the children are looking. You may have noticed the differences in the different wedding ceremonies that you attended. अगर आप अलग अलग शादियों में गए हैं तो अलग अलग शादियों की अलग अलग रिचुअल्स होती है, अलग अलग रिलीजन की तरह से या फिर अलग अलग टेरिटरी के हिसाब से, अलग अलग स्टेट के हिसाब से. And all these things are part of the cultures of the different communities, because together we are having culture. किसी एक रिलीजन की, किसी एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया की कल्चर नहीं बनती है, पूरे भारत की मिलके एक कल्चर बनती है, एंड इंडियन कल्चर इज हाई कल्चर. Our constitution has given the different communities the right to preserve their cultural uniqueness. Here now you can see differences in the different wedding ceremonies and all these things are part of the culture. So this one, Indian culture. Uniqueness. Here the word cultural uniqueness is very important. Our constitution has given the different communities the right to preserve their cultural uniqueness, because it is the identity of that particular group or of that particular community, and together it becomes the culture of India. For example, Bhangra in the Punjab, or Pawada in Maharashtra, Garba in Gujarat. So these are the different types of dance. So difference in the food, in wearing clothes, language, number of things are there. But our constitution has given right to preserve cultural uniqueness. According to this right, people are not only free to preserve their own language, script and literature. Then what? They can make efforts towards their promotion. They can establish institutions for the development of their language, of their script, of their literature. So though we are having cultural diversity, linguistic plurality, and literary traditions in India, our constitution gave us fundamental right of culture and education. Next point now, right to constitutional remedies. Now this one is the important because it is very important in case of encroachment of fundamental rights. The Indian citizens right to get judicial remedies is also a fundamental right. अगर आपका फंडामेंटल राइट्स आपसे कोई छीन रहा है, आपके साथ इंजस्टिस हो रहा है, आपके साथ एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो रहा है, आपको बोलने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, आपको लिखने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, आपका रिलीजन आपसे छीना जा रहा है, at this point our constitution gives us right to constitutional remedies, and this is called right to constitutional remedies. This means the constitution itself has provided for legal remedies, in case people's rights get violated. So it becomes a constitutional duty of the courts to protect the rights of the people. So here one thing which is very important to understand, constitution not only gives us the fundamental rights but it also protect the rights of the people. सिर्फ हमें अधिकार दिए नहीं है बल्कि उन अधिकारों का रक्षण करना, प्रोटेक्ट करना भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लिखा हुआ है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन, sometimes the rights that are guaranteed to us by the constitution may get encroached upon and we are not able to exercise our rights. For example, आपको लिखने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, बोलने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, and this is called infringement of our rights. In such cases, the court considers our complaint. If you complain against someone or against any institution that your fundamental rights are infringed, then if you complain, then the court considers your complaint, investigates it, and in case it is convinced that rights have indeed been infringed upon an injustice has been done to the aggrieved individual, the court gives an appropriate verdict or judgment we can say. अगर कोर्ट को ऐसा लगता है कि आपका फंडामेंटल राइट आपसे छीना गया है, then by investigating, court gives an appropriate verdict. For example, some instance of infringement of rights are given in our textbook, including arresting an individual without reason. किसी को अरेस्ट किया है, लॉकअप में रखा है, कोर्ट के पास केस जाएगा, कोर्ट इन्वेस्टिगेट करेगा और कोर्ट को अगर ऐसे लगा कि आपको बिना वजह के, बिना वारंट के अरेस्ट किया गया है, तो आपकी साइड में वर्डिक्ट दिया जाएगा, आपकी साइड में जजमेंट दिया जाएगा. तो इसका मतलब क्या हो रहा है, हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट का प्रोटेक्शन किया. Then preventing a person from leaving a village or a town without giving a valid reason. If there is a person who wishes to leave his own village or a town, and if someone is not allowing him, in such case he can go to the court and ask for the justice, because it comes under the fundamental right of what? Fundamental right of moving freely throughout the territory of India, or freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. Refusing food, water or medicines to jail inmates. This one is also instance of infringement, because food, water, or medicine, these things are directly related with our life, and in our constitution we have right to life as fundamental right. Now the next point, writs as constitutional remedies. Courts have powers to issue various kinds of writs to protect the rights of the citizens, which includes five things given in our textbook: habeas corpus, then mandamus, prohibition, Covarianto, and certiorari. One by one, we'll discuss about this. First one is writs as constitutional remedies in this habeas corpus. Protection from unlawful arrest and detention. No one can arrest you without any particular reason or without warrant. So this is the habeas corpus. Then next one, mandamus. In this, what is given, we'll see. The order of the court, it may be the Supreme Court or the High Court, commanding the government to perform an action that is its duty to perform in public interest. So writ of mandamus is a court's order commanding an inferior court or public authority to perform an official duty correctly. This is the right, or this is the constitutional remedy in our constitution. Next point, prohibition. To prevent a subordinate court from exceeding its jurisdiction. Next one, Covarianto. To restrain a person from acting in an office to which he is not entitled. किसी एक पर्टिकुलर जगह पे आपका एरिया है, वो ऑफिस वहाँ पर दिया है और वहाँ छोड़ के आप किसी और जगह पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं या फिर वहाँ के कामों में कुछ गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं, तो आपको वहाँ से हटाया जा सकता है. लाइक प्रोहिबिशन, टू प्रिवेंट अ सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट फ्रॉम एक्सीडिंग इट्स ज्यूरिसडिक्शन. अपनी ज्यूरिसडिक्शन से बाहर अगर वो एक्सीड कर रहा है तो उसे प्रोहिबिट किया जाता है वहाँ पर. एंड द लास्ट वन इन दिस इज certiorari. To order the removal of a lawsuit from a subordinate court to a superior court. So all these are the writs as constitutional remedies. Now in the topic fundamental rights part 1 and fundamental rights part 2, we people discussed about the fundamental rights, that the rights which are mentioned or written in our constitution are called fundamental rights. And as these rights are mentioned or written in our constitution, it became law, or they have the status of law, and that's why it is imperative for everybody to abide by these rights. So in the first part we discussed about right to equality, right to liberty, right against exploitation, and now in today's topic we discussed about right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, and writs as constitutional remedies. Now one thing here which is very important to understand, that we people as a Indian citizen enjoying our life, our lives are going very smoothly because some rights are there for us in our constitution. So because the fundamental rights are thus protected by the courts, citizens are able to exercise their rights. They can fulfill their roles as alert, responsible, and active citizens. But while considering fundamental rights, we also need to remember our duties. Then only society can balance. अगर हम राइट्स को एंजॉय करते जाएंगे एंड विल नॉट फॉलो और परफॉर्म आवर ड्यूटीज, देन इट इज not of use. So in the next chapter we shall study our fundamental duties. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications. So my dear ones, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.